I would say I watch about maybe an hour every single day chess, an hour every single day construction, how people just build things. And I do that first because I'm attracted to those things. So that's the prerequisite, attraction. I also have resources. I have some extra money. I put away from my kids, but now that I don't like my kids as much, I've taken that money out and I'm spending it on DeWalt tools. Every day I buy this and I buy that. And the next is, my parents have a big backyard, and I tell them I'm going to come in there and build this, and my mom says, please don't. I say, Mom, it's really not your choice. I say, it's my house. No, it's not, Mom. I'm there every day. It's not your house. Now, I could be content just living in my own place, but the truth is, I like building things. That's what I do. If I didn't have the desire, I wouldn't buy tools. I wouldn't go to my parents' house and destroy it, you know. If you want to transition from being a consumer to a creator of sorts, you really have to grow tired of simply being a consumer. We have a neighbor, I don't really know who he is. He lives kind of a few blocks down from us. He was diagnosed with cancer when he was 30. He's married now, and because he has cancer, they couldn't have children. And one day, we were walking with the kids, and he said, you guys want to come take a look at my backyard? I said, sure. And he has all these planters, and everything that they eat comes from their backyard. Now, the question is, well, why did they move into this particular position? You know, was Safeway bad? Was Farmer Joe's bad? Was, Whole Foods bad? No, he came to realize he has cancer, and that's a shock, a huge shock, not only to your physical system, but to your psychological system. And they told him that he needs to eat organic, things that are just clean and fresh. And so what you have is, you have this pain. Pain brings about this awareness. Kind of like Aldous Huxley. I am tired of reading, and I'm tired of just information. I want to feel the information. I want to Bodhi, hi, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
I'm well, thank you.
Are you feeling better?
Yes.
I think she should just come and sit on this table, and we should just watch her.
I would walk out.
You will walk out. It's because you have no sense to you. You guys have any chocolate? Any money to give her? You can't do anything without discontent. The transition is pain. The transition is helplessness. The transition is this deep need, this desire. And I don't really know how. I mean, I do know, but it takes a lot of work. Let's just say that I find you to be somewhat inquisitive, curious. And let's just say I'm in a place in life where I like giving to others what I think I have and are relatively beneficial and positive. So I'm going to ask you, so Alex, what are you doing today? Say, oh, and you think I'm just like your friend, I like you. I'm nothing, I'm not doing anything. You want to come for lunch and then dinner to our house? Yeah, I'll come there. What do you guys make? Do you like ghormeh sabzi? What the heck is that? I don't know, you just got to taste it and experience it. I can't tell you what it is. Now, you may think I like the way you look. I just like the fact that you're interested. And then when you come to my house, I hope that the house will create an environment for you that's unlike all the other places you've frequented. And then you come back here on Tuesday and I say, so Alex, how are you doing? And you say, fine. And then you say, Amir, I'm free tonight. Oh, okay, come over. And then you realize that you come over the house once or twice a week. And you don't stay for 5 minutes, you stay for 5 hours. And in those 5 hours, there's a hierarchy now taking place. Usually whenever you go to your friend's house, you just stretch out your legs and you do all sorts of crazy things. But in my house, you sit very proper. You don't look at my wife. You don't talk to my kids. You don't even talk to me or look at me. You ask some questions and I say, well, Alex, hold on to your questions until we go to the back room. And we go there and we sit there for 5 hours. You keep asking and I keep answering in some incompetent ways. And then little by little you realize you enjoy being at my place. Now what you don't really know is my intention. My intention was to get you over there and to get you addicted to me and my ideas. And eventually you say, Amir, I'm thinking about quitting the kitchen and going back to school and doing maybe philosophy or religious studies or sociology. I say, that's great. The moment you get your master's, give me a call so I can have you teach a couple of classes. I can pull some strings, open some doors. And once you're in the classroom talking, you begin to see your own reflection in a very clear way. Your capacities, to what extent you're a genius, how incompetent you are, how competent you are. And that's your training ground. I've done my job. You're on your own from that point on. But and it's something that I couldn't make you feel. You have to kind of walk in the classroom yourself and see your own value, see your own expression, see the way you approach questions, the way students, are towards you. And then that will become your playground. You'll work with that for the next 20, 30 years. You'll make some adjustments and that's it. And that's the way transitions really work, But the idea of being free, no, that's rubbish. I mean, you can be free to do stupid things. But when it comes to doing things that have value, you're going to be imposed upon. Sometimes in ways you wouldn't like. And it's very, very difficult to work with Westerners, let me just say. Because they lack narratives, proper narratives. And I think it's for the most part, it's because of the formative years. There is no family unity. There is no extended family unity. So most of the basic etiquettes that people should know, it's just missing. I mean, I'm dealing with adults in my classes, especially online classes. What's wrong with you? Someone says to me. This is no way to talk to someone who is especially in charge of your future. He's going to grade you. Be a little bit more dignified. Like, hi. How y'all doing? At least something. So when you're missing such basic and important components, and someone says, "I want to learn philosophy," no, you don't. You just need to be nice. Learn how to be nice for 10 years, and just be quiet for 10 years. Then maybe you'll get somewhere. Yes, Alex. Emerson.
Yeah, this lecture has me thinking.
I'm sorry?
This lecture has me thinking about, I guess, loneliness and relationships. My question is, I guess in a certain way, does it really loneliness exist? Because I feel like there's isolating to reflect people's ideas. Loneliness isolating, I guess, for pleasure purposes or escapism.
Imagine you have a companion. and you guys are invited to a gathering, to a party. And so your companion all of a sudden sees a bunch of his or her friends, goes over there, and you see a bunch of your friends and you go over there. And you stay in that gathering for about 5 hours, and it's fun. And then you guys go home after the gathering. Now, you're fully engaged, both of you, but you have your own different corners. And then you go home, and you don't look at your companion and ask, so, honey, are you happy? No. It's all about gossip now. Did you know what happened to Jay-Z and Beyonce? You know? And you know, it's for the next like 5-6 hours, your conversation doesn't revolve around who am I, what am I happy, are you satisfied with life or not? It's about other people. And that's how we have been for the majority of our human history. It revolves around gossip, revolves around companions, enjoying their time with other people. You know, you don't go home looking at your wife and say, so honey, how's your day? You don't ask these questions. Your wife isn't even home. And even if she was, you wouldn't be asking. Life is busy. You always have people coming and going. Here what you have is you have a man or a woman, man, donkey, whatever the case may be, right? You have just two people. Okay? What do you do? Well, the home now feels like a house, and the house feels like a prison. So you take your sorry behinds to Zachary's. Well, you can't call a parent and say, Mom, Dad, we're coming over. For us, you don't even call. You just break the door and you go in. You know, and you see your dad being undressed. You know? And that's how things are done. Here, there is nothing. There is no sister to go to, no brother to go to, no family gatherings to go to. Once in a while, you have a Christmas. Once in a while, you have a Thanksgiving. And these are like people getting together who don't really get along. You know, it's like the movie Scent of the Woman, where Al Pacino goes to his brother's house, but everybody's fighting, and it's about to erupt. I mean, that's how things are. And there's no reason why the divorce rate is high, loneliness is high. These are like cultural phenomenons, and there is no way to fix it. If you want to make sure that your relationship stands a chance of survival, not friends, forget friends. Friends are no good. You need family members. And you need to like go to them every single day. Because if you keep looking at your companion, and especially if you don't have children, oh man, 2 years. Your companion is not Mother Teresa. She's not Ayn Rand. She's not Anne Frank. She's some person who's just, you know, stuck in her own world. And every time you go home, you know, she wants to talk about her world. How long can you just sit back and listen to that nonsense before you explode? And how much can you listen if she listens to you? How much? Well, you think I go home and I say, how was your class, honey? No. She says, I don't really care what you talked about. Gotta go to my mom. You gotta fix the window. I say, okay, honey. That's it. And the next 7 hours is, you know, fixing the window. Find some friends. Adopt some parents.
Okay, wait, so,
Allahu Akbar.
okay, so like, I'm kind of seeing it as, yeah, it's beneficial to, I guess, be in relation with others. And maybe like in your solitude, you're kind of, like, let's say you're painting for your family member. You're with the painting during that time. But it has one purpose and meaning than me just being alone and just playing video games by myself and being with the video games for hours. Where it's just me and my fantasy.
Look, I am an alcoholic and I want to quit. But right now, as I stand and I'm looking at you, I am an alcoholic. Recovery is 10 years down the line. You are an American, born in America. You have cultural components of America inside you. And all the things you see out there, the loneliness, the depression, all the stuff is inside you. Your question now is, I want to move away from this and get to this place. And the point you need to understand, if you're not careful, is there is a quick fix. And a quick fix is you have a long journey. The sun is scorching hot, imposing itself upon you. And there's a tiny little tree there. You sit in the shade for 2 minutes, but then you got to pack up and start walking again. That's a quick fix, the 2 minutes under the shade. It's not going to do much for you. Okay? I mean, you want to go to Los Angeles, there's a rest area. You can go there, spend like 5-6 hours if you want. But eventually you got to drive to Los Angeles, and that's an 8-hour drive. Because you're driving a Pinto that can't go more than 20 miles an hour. Okay? So the two things you got to do. First, see the things that you have. And then find an environment that provides you the things you imagine, fantasize. Okay? You don't even need to see the things you have. Connect yourself to something that's bigger than you. And you don't really need a community. Go have a chat with Angela Davis if you can find her. Edward Said if you can bring him back to life from his coffin. Connect yourself to a big idea. That big idea will give you a community. That community will save you. Because now you have, your GPS is bigger than, should I go to this bathroom or that bathroom? Should I take a philosophy class or a history class? I mean, they're good. They're just pit stops. And you know, when you remove philosophy, when you remove religion, when you remove meaningful things from human life, they get stuck in small things. And small things, after a while, reveal themselves to be meaningless and hollow. And then that'll disgust you. And what disgusts you is your own reflection. And now you want a way out, but the culture doesn't give you a way out. Look, people have asked great questions in this classroom. They're really, really good people. Really are, even the ones who don't say much. It doesn't take very much for people to go to the next person and say, listen, you know, I'm thinking about like gathering at a park somewhere. Bring whatever. Bring whomever. And let's do this every week. And when you guys go there, hopefully you talk about ideas. I mean, there is no other way to do this. You know, it's not organic. You have to manufacture it, hoping, praying to God that one day it'll be organic. That you're going to the park with these people because you genuinely like them and trust them. Right now, everything is like eggshells. This is not meant to disappoint or depress or, you know, shed negative light on any of this. Just the complexity. And I think you need to respect what you desire, which is, I really want to be connected to something that's meaningful. You know, but I think anything that has value is very difficult to come by. And it needs a lot of effort and sacrifice. Samuel?
I wanted to ask, how do you cultivate like awareness, mindfulness throughout your daily life?
You can't. Daily life just sucks you in. Look, you have a math class after this. You're going to be aware of what? Your quiz. You know, there are, I think, there is beautiful Zen saying, and I hate, you know, all these traditions, but nevertheless, that, you know, when you're hungry, just eat, man. When you need to use the restroom, just go use the restroom. When you're tired, just sleep. The idea of struggling to observe fasting, struggling to keep yourself from going to the bathroom, it just creates more conflict. You know, you have this culture now where everybody wants to be wise, everybody wants to be aware, everybody wants to do Bikram yoga or some yoga out there. Is that true, Bodhi? Yeah, see? And so you realize that people are walking, wanting to do all those things, but they can't because life won't allow them. And so they have this image of themselves, you know, conflicted. Go to your math class, man. And if you have like a few minutes of extra time and there is nothing going on in your life and your plate is relatively empty, just sit there and look at something. I don't know. Read a book. Have some like useful friends. Watch some useful videos. You know. I mean, there are lots of nice movies out there. One that's recently coming, I think, 22nd is Maestro, Bradley Cooper. The life story of Leonard Bernstein, the composer, musician. It's a beautiful movie. At least the first 2 minutes of it in the trailer. So, no mindfulness, man. Just do what you need to do to graduate. And once you have power, then you can sit and be mindful.
So, with mindfulness, what do you think about people who put other people ahead of themselves in their thinking first? They're kind of, that's what I always kind of equated mindfulness is you're looking at this other person walking towards you and you're thinking about their experience rather than yours, you're being empathetic to that, or sympathetic to that over your own. And it's just a way of kind of like, oh, I'm paying attention to the people around me and imagining this and that and moving with grace through that moment. What do you think about people putting other people ahead of themselves in that sense? Or
Like admiring others.
admiring, but thinking.
Serving others or for
It's service, but it's like, okay, I get on the BART train and I see this person on
The what?
He didn't even raise his hand, he just started talking. I don't say nothing.
His leg was up.
He always does it.
Don't do that, Alex.
That's pretty good. I'm sorry. You're not gonna say nothing, I'm gonna say yes. You know what?
Okay.
I'm gonna say it.
All right, so, okay. Okay, all right, okay. Look. This is not the Middle East and it's not the hood. Okay? This is University of Laney. So,
Do you understand what my
yeah, I think.
Sometimes you go into a, let's say, a crowded bus and you just fuck these people, just bump into these people I don't care about, I'm not thinking about them. At other times you go, oh, there's a nice old lady, I want to make sure I'm not bumping into her. One of them to me is active mindfulness or putting other people ahead of yourself, being aware of your surroundings. That's what I'm getting at, is those two differences.
Okay. So there is something abstract and there is something real. Real in the sense that you get on the bus and there is this old person. They're standing, but you're sitting, and for a moment you begin to become aware of just the awfulness of getting old. Your back, your knees, and then you get up and you grab this old woman by the neck and you put her down. So please. The other is, let's just say you walk into a class and you have a pompous professor that says, yeah, anyone ask any question, I am here to answer all of them. Why should I respect that? It's just ideas, it's just thoughts. Any idea is as good as the idea next to it. Why should I, it's a great question. I don't know. There is this guy on YouTube. I discovered him just a couple of days ago. His name is Shahid something. He was a social activist, I think, in Egypt sometime. I will put up a link for you guys to kind of look at and watch if you're interested. I don't know what it is about him, but this morning I came to campus about 5 to do some writing, and I spent an hour and a half just listening to him. And he makes me feel small and incompetent and irrelevant because his ideas are just so well thought out. And he connects things in ways I couldn't do it in 20 lifetimes. And I'm not in a place anymore to be envious of some things, to be ambitious to say, you know what, I want to be like him. I'm not going to listen to him anymore because he makes me feel small and bad and incompetent. I'm just going to listen to myself. And it may be that, some of you in this class may look at him and say, no, I'm not really interested. He doesn't look good. He's, this and he's that. Why I'm attracted to him and why he makes me feel the way I do about myself, I don't really know, but I actually like feeling incompetent. I like the fact that he puts me in this state of quietness and silence and being a good student, just listen. And I want to take notes. And I want to understand what he's saying and how he's saying it and how he's come to these conclusions, which are profound. He's like 20 Jesus Christs, because it's really difficult to express things in ways that people can actually feel and understand and just see something, It's not like you're told a story and then you got to go home and bang your head to the wall and say, what the hell does this story really mean? I don't mind being small in his presence and feeling incompetent and irrelevant and useless. I like it. If, on the other hand, I am a type A personality, for example, where I always need to be on the top, I always need to be worshipped, then I will have difficulties with him. Because what I will do then, I will listen very, very attentively, not to the good things that he says, but the flaws. And then out of the hour that I'm listening to him, I catch 2 seconds that he's made a mistake. Then I will go and write a thick book on why this guy is junk. But thankfully, I'm not that. But also the truth is, we don't really respect people. We respect them for reasons that we don't really know. This is not the nicest thing to say, but some of the social activists of the 1960s and 70s are still alive today. And they get paid $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 to just give a 10-minute talk. And the moment they step into the room, everybody stands up and applauds them. And the truth is, he's like 60 or 70 now. He's completely useless. What you're applauding is who they were when they were like 20 or 30 or 40. And there is nothing wrong with reaping the benefits of all the struggles you went through when you were young. But despite everything I've said, if you look at life as a desert, and if you've come to a place where you realize that life has nothing to offer you, and you try to look for things out there, but there is nothing to be found, we desperately will look for someone to respect and worship. It's just a natural thing that happens to all of us. If you have read a book that has inspired you, and you go to the same book and it lacks the power to inspire you, you will go to Barnes & Nobles and you stay there for 5 hours combing through the books, the pages, to see if there's anything out there that can kind of just breathe some life into you. If you find that book, you're profoundly lucky. If not, you're just going to walk home as a miserable creature that you've always been. For those of you who came in late, before we get to Iranian's question, we have no class next week, Tuesday. This is a philosophy class. Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 to 10:15. We have no class next week, Tuesday. We won't meet on Thursday because Thanksgiving, so we'll meet again the following week. Just in case you feel as if you're missing something by not being here, which you are not really, I will be in this classroom from 9:30 to 10:45 Mondays and Wednesdays, and you're always welcome to drop by.
You?
Mondays and Wednesdays, yeah. Yeah.
When is she in class?
When? Yeah.
She office hours.
No, man. Don't come to my office.
At 9 a.m.
No, this classroom. Mondays and Wednesdays, 9:30 to 10:45. And I think the class is ethics, but it's very unethical.
Okay, I might come.
Yeah, there you go. For those of you who want to learn how to behave badly, that's the class that you need to take.
I'm ethical, I just know the bad thing.
Anyone else before we go home? Yeah, Deviante.
I'm going to be on full time for it, but I just want to ask, how do we stop perpetually from corrupting us?
You can't. You know, it's like you are restless, and you have to be restless, and you have to be confused, and you have to be curious because you're young, man. And if you're young, it's good to have dreams that are big. It's good to have dreams that inspire and propel you towards perfection. Because I gotta tell you, when you get to be a little older, and when life just makes demands on you, your desires will be very, very small and very, very pathetic. If at this stage you desire perfection, pursue them. Whatever else exists in your life, get rid of them. Pursue perfection. You won't get it. But even if you can get there 50%, you're a rich man. You know, because when you get to our age, you'll be profoundly satisfied, hopefully content with where you are in life. You know what? I am 5'5". Okay, what else can I do? I am old and I'm ugly. That's just the way it is. You know? I can't change. You, on the other hand, you're like a blade of grass, man. You can move any direction without breaking. You know. The only flaw about having or being a number one, which is perfectionist, it's always good to only demand perfection from yourself, not other people, because you will ruin them and they will walk away eventually from you because they can only take so much of your nonsense. You know, allow others to be who they are, but if you want to attain perfection, fine. Knock yourself out. And I think to some extent you can see that in the Gospel of Mark. When he goes out in public, he just talks regularly to people. But when he goes to the cave and talks to his disciples, it's very, very different and speaks very, very differently. So, you know. Oh, yes. Well, listen, have a wonderful time with your family. Tell them I said hello. Take care of yourself. Enjoy your time off. Stay in touch. See you guys. Thank you. Thank you. And I get some rest.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm having like a lot of trouble with like the assignment, the first and second. I'm working on them, but like fifth question, I'm kind of confused. Like I'm stuck on it. Like can you like put it in different terms, like simple terms for me? Like or can you explain it to me?
Can you tell me what you're confused about?
Well, what are the steps that are needed for me to become
Thank you.
applicable, right?
Okay. So let's say that, forgive me for putting it this way.
No, go ahead.